All right, gentlemen, we good? How we doing overall with all this stuff? Good? You enjoying yourself? Excellent. It's been a few weeks since I was here. Anybody remember anything that we did last time? What were the takeaways from last time that we came?
Mostly rotation.
Yeah.
Got
it. A lot of the rotation, right. So I looked up, remember how when we finished I said that Rory had back pain when he was a junior because he actually had too much flexibility? So I was looking it up to get you guys numbers on it. So they were talking about separation. So the ability to create speed is the ability to separate the upper and lower body. And it's almost like taking a rubber band and twisting it and letting it go. So they said the average tour player separates his lower from upper about like 44 degrees. And Rory, he does it about 64 degrees, right? So that's why he can, as small as he is, generate so much strength and speed. And that's also where now there's some controversy around lifting heavy weights, but that was the impetus as to why he really got into heavy lifting, deadlifting, because he had just no stability. He was all flexibility. And so that's where, a lot of this stuff comes in and why I'm really kind of making you guys aware of what you're feeling differently, because literally every body is a bit different. Some people have some better flexibility in their back, some people have it in their hips, some people don't have a lot, some people need more strength. So as we're going through some of the stuff that's easy or challenging, it just kind of gives everyone here an idea that it won't be the same for everybody. And if you are going to have a problem, potentially, where it's going to be, right? And so a lot of people that we see at our practice come in with lower back pain at our golfers, and the first thing we do is check their mid-back and their hips, right? Because they could take Advil to get through a round, but they're just gonna have to keep taking Advil if they're over-rotating through something and under-rotating through their hips and their torso. So what we focused on last time, you saw we didn't do anything for the lower back. And core training is a lot of that type of stuff, but you won't do, believe it or not, any real mobility training for the lower back in general. We don't do that because it's not meant to do that. What's meant to do it is everything from the rib cage to about the bottom of the neck, and everything from about the knee to the hip is where all of that rotation should happen. So I think it's good that instead of just getting out there and just trying to stretch, it's like if we can think about, all right, do we know at my rib cage I should feel this and I should feel this and get muscles activated, we're going to be in a better position. The other big thing, when I was studying the guys that worked with Rory, they talked about most people will before a round, if they do anything as a warm-up, what do? They do some stretching. They do a ton of stretching. And what they talked about was actually that probably, if all you did was stretch, it probably wouldn't be your best approach. Why? It would be like taking a rubber band and just stretching it out all the way, and you have none of that recoil anymore. So some of these little activation type drills, if we had to choose what you would do before a round, it would be the strength, a little bit of the activation. Even though the stretching feels really good, we're essentially stretching you out and giving you range of motion that you don't really have. It's just kind of temporary, and sometimes it can screw you up even more. So a lot of these stability and these light activation drills that are quite easy, a lot of them are standing. This is what we're going to talk through as we get closer to the season about, a nice 5, 6, 7, 10, 15-minute warm-up depending on what you're doing. And the big thing for me is I'm pretty basic with my advice. It's like, well, what should I do before a round? I was like, if you're not doing anything, let's do 5 minutes. If you used to do 5 or 6 minutes, maybe let's do a better 5 or 6 minutes. If you come early and you have 15, 20, then we can build a certain routine. So, I'm not naive enough to think like most guys get out of their car, put their shoes on, and, first tee. So we just want to do a little bit of something if we can. Similar. Now what I want you guys to start to feel is what it's like to contract in that athletic position of our backswing. So if you are righty, you're going to have the right side facing the wall. You're going to be about 18 inches away from the wall. So get in your setup position. Setup position. Good. Now to start, what I want you to do is just take your right foot and just open it up and walk it about 8 inches back so your hips start to face the wall. There you go, good. Now, what I want you to do is now that you're a little bit open, your belly button's kind of facing there, I want you to take both arms and I want you to push into the wall. Sit your hips back and push into the wall. Think about like you're in your backswing though. So you would be, over there so you can actually sit. Good. Good. Now, what I want you to do in this position, I want you to try to break the wall. Sorry, Sharon. So open up your hips, and I want you to push hard. Push down the wall. Push down the wall. What you should feel is your left and right leg engaging with the ground. You should feel torso and midsection engaging. You should feel your shoulders engaging. Good. Abs, a little more abs. Good. All right, so hips and knees at 90 degrees. You're going to let your feet relax. You're going to let your feet relax on the switch your butt up a little bit. Good. Good. And so let your butt go on the ground. So the first thing we're going to do, I want your feet straight up towards the ceiling, about hip width apart. So don't let your knees shouldn't be knocking. Nothing we're going to do is let your knees down. Okay? Now, the first thing I want you to do is going to be pretty basic. Just switch your hips up a little bit. So your knees are down. What I want you to do is dig your heels, not moderately hard, but I want you to just dig your heels into the bench or the mat. And what you should feel is behind your legs, your hamstrings, just start to activate a little bit. So your back should be flat on the ground. You're going to dig your heels down into the ground or into the mat. And what you should feel is behind the legs and the hamstrings. Now, some of you may actually cramp from this. That would be normal. That means you're on the right spot. But what I want you to get an idea of is that your back is flat on the ground, and you should just be feeling, just pushing down, good. Just feeling the back of your legs a little bit more. Does everyone feel that? Yep. Okay. So now, as you're pushing down and doing that, the next thing I want you to think about is your lower back flattening out against the ground. So I want you to push your lower back really, really hard into the ground. And what you might feel there is your abs actually starting to engage a little bit. So you're pushing your heels into the table or the ground, and you're pushing your lower back down as well. So you should feel the back of your legs, and then you should feel your lower back crushing the ground. And this is just getting your legs engaged, getting your abs engaged, and getting neutral. You're just going to hold this position. You need to take a break. Okay. Now, remember after our other drill, we did that rotational one, so both arms up in the air. Make punch the ceiling, fist towards the ceiling. Good. What I want you to think about doing is your head doesn't move, your low back doesn't move, your knees don't move. You're just going to try to rotate your ribs one side to the other. Right? So lifting up towards the ceiling. Good. Yep. So one at a time. So just up and over. Good. Yep. Lift your head up. I want your head on there. Good. Yep, good. And up and across. There you go. Good. Up and across. Good. Okay, good. Just up and across. Yep. Up and across. Yeah, for those. Good. Really good. Try to keep your head down. So up and across. Breathe. I want to hear people breathe a little bit. Good. Breathe. Good. So make sure you're rotating one side. So up and over. There you go. Good. Up and over. There it is. Good. Keep going. So if all we did, so the reason why you do that is to gain range of motion. Let's say it's my right shoulder. So we start moving through this range of motion, and it's like we're just stretching. But this arm is doing nothing, right? So if I try to get into this position, my golf swing, and I can't stabilize it, then what the hell's going to happen? We never actually figure out how to contract the muscles that are supposed to keep us there. So what we're going to do today is, just switch a little bit, I'm going to be here with you guys. So we'll do right arm first, we're going to do right side. So you're going to take the butt end of the club and put it in the right palm, right, and put it right in front of you. So now, if you've done this in PT in the past, what do? We're going to bring it up and over passively, so you're just going to give it up and over and stretch into that position. Now, once you feel like you're at an end position, I want you to just push a little bit more. But now what I want you to do is hold that position and get rid of the club. Hold it there, and hold it there. Don't let your range of motion go away. Keep it there. You should feel these muscles here contracting. Right? Good, bring it back down. If you have a longer club, you can't hold it like this, that's okay, hold it like this. But I want you to try similarly in overhead position. So hold the club straight ahead, stand tall, squeeze your butt cheeks. Squeeze your butt cheeks. Squeeze cheeks together. Contract your abs. Tighten here. Nothing moves from there. Squeeze your butt, head straight. Start bringing your arms, both arms overhead. This should be more of an ab workout than anything. Only go as high as you can keep your abs ribs, the head in position. Good. Bring it back down. Good. Perfect. Let's do separated. That's good. That's good. Bring it back down. Squeeze it up. Yeah, down. That's I think I told you this example before, but my gymnast, when I used to be at Rutgers, a lot of the girls would come in with lower back pain. And one of the reasons they had lower back pain, they're always doing overhead things, but they would get overhead and it would look like this. So they would just be crunching on their lower back. So getting overhead motion without moving anything else becomes super important. All right, so you're gonna have your right hand on the wall. And you're going to stand up as tall as you can. Don't cheat, because this is an easy one to cheat on. Your left leg you're going to lift. Okay, you're going to take your left hand and grab your shin. Without bending backwards, lift it as high as you can. As high as you can. And now let go and hold it. 10 seconds. Lift it as high as you can. And hold it. Don't lean back down. That's it. Good. 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 Take a break. What you should feel is probably, you'll feel a lot in this left side, obviously, but you're going to feel a lot more on that right glute stabilizer. So push, stretch as high as you can, as high as you can, as high as you can. Now hold that position there. Let's squeeze and now let go, hold there. Don't lose it. Lift it high. There you go. Good. Now let go. Hold it. There you go. Good. Yeah. Good. Lift it higher. All right. Come on, more. You got more. You got more. More. You got more. You got more. More. Good. Take a break. Yeah. Good.